Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Chupacabra's Lair coverage of E3 2014, and today we're taking a look at the magical sort of indie sandboxy game of No Man's Sky. And this is a game that we've only seen brief glimpses of before in sort of little scattered images of a really beautiful beachside image, different great, sort of vast, sweeping, majestic landscapes, and scattered pieces of what some of the space exploration is going to be like. And that was what we saw up until this year's GDC, when we get to see this great new trailer where you spawn in an alien world and you get to be introduced to this new, sort of in-progress HUD where it loads up and you're greeted with some resources to your right, and you exit out of the cave and you get to see the HUD pop up and tell you the name of this planet that you discovered, and sort of start to catalog the different creatures that roam around you that look almost like dinosaurs. And then suddenly there's drones flying overhead until you are suddenly startled by a grisly, almost deadly Triceratops-looking critter, and then you quickly run to your ship and take off and are greeted by a galactic fleet. But never fear, you have friends not far away. You engage in some scattered dogfights until the fleet retreats, and you go and protect your claim on the nearby planet right off of your own home planet. And then we exit seeing these strange alien monoliths, and that is our sort of hinting at what it is that we're looking at with the world of No Man's Sky. And the creators of No Man's Sky, Hello Games, sort of bill this game as an almost sandboxy space adventure game that encourages you to endlessly explore the ever-expanding galaxy and universe, and for some reason be ever drawn towards the center of your home galaxy.
Yeah, and they haven't said why you want to go there. Could be for a story reason, as there's going to be story and lore in the game. We don't know to what extent. Could be, the typical RPG tiered progression. Go deeper, get better stuff. Go deeper, get better stuff. And then as you get closer, obviously you're going to see more and more other players that have their own things and PvP and all that. So they haven't said why, but there's some speculation. We'll figure that out, I guess, as it gets closer to launch date.
That's true, and I think part of that is they're being very careful with how they are presenting information, because the one connection that I can kind of draw to this game is that it feels like Hello Games is trying to create a very open sort of sandboxy game, much like Minecraft or Rust, that is a direct competitor, if not intentionally, to games like Star Citizen and Eve's Valkyrie, because now we're starting to get these hints at the sort of technology that we'll be able to build and interact with, and these aliens that will have their own agendas and own goals and maybe not always friendly. And then also being able to, sort of stake our claims at the edge of the galaxy and build up a base and defend our sort of section of the universe. And it should be interesting, mostly because during the presentation at E3 by Sean Murray, we got these hints that things like species are important for more than just aesthetic reasons, that they can be somehow critical to one or more of your planet's resources that you need for crafting and such, and that it might be possible to sneak into a planet and to eradicate very select species from someone's planet in order to weaken their resource gathering capabilities and engage in an economic warfare before you bring in your invasion fleet. That may be completely off, but that's the sort of take that I get from it, and it will be definitely interesting to see how they sort of bring in people, because you start at the edge of the galaxy, there's no one else around, but eventually you are going to meet people in this multiplayer universe, and you are going to have to somehow interact with them, and it won't always be friendly. I know I myself am a troll on the internet, so I can definitely expect that sort of thing from other people.
Yeah, the whole multiplayer that they're doing with it's kind of a unique take on the whole thing, because they're not having any sort of MMO tag to it at all. You're starting really, really far away from each other. You don't need other people to help you, craft things. But at the same time, it looks like you can get together in big groups and go, fuck shit up, for lack of a better word.
Right, and I mean, it's very, like you were saying, not MMO, but still multiplayer. It's a very free-flowing multiplayer experience. You probably end up with something like Minecraft, where you enter a zone and you can start chatting with people, but there's not like a lot of rigid friends lists or abilities to warp directly to a friend's planet, because we don't know how the multiplayer will work, and it might be possible to connect to multiple multiplayer cloud sort of multiplayer experiences from your own little world section. So it'll definitely be interesting to see how they start to reveal the different components of the game. But starting off right now, from what we've sort of been able to see, is Hello Games does bill this new E3 trailer as partially, if not completely, based around an actual gameplay footage. And so this raises a couple of questions. The first is, this is a really pretty game. And I think we both know, and the folks at home know, is that games that end up on the PC that are really pretty are not always super well optimized. And with a 4-man team, they've got a lot of ground to cover in that respect.
Yeah, and I can't remember exactly when it happened. It was a few months ago, but they had a flood in their studio and lost a lot of their progress on the game. So I don't know how much that's going to affect things like optimizing. If Sony wants them to stick to a certain launch date, then, you know, they're going to have to cut corners somewhere, and that could be one of them.
Right. And the other thing is, we certainly don't know what impels people to reach the center of the galaxy, but they have implied that there is going to be lore components. And then the other issue we really had was, in a world or a universe that is supposed to have endless diversity and endless unique player experiences, how much uniqueness can we expect? Because this is, again, a 4-man team, and there's only so many different character models, so many different animal planet models that you can physically create as a human being before it all starts to sort of run together. There are some tricks they could use, like writing a script that can make like a vaguely, you know, anamorphic looking creature that is very reasonable and interesting looking, but it's hard to say what methods they're going to use because we haven't seen a whole lot yet, but it is certainly a concern.
Yeah, and I mean, at the end of the day, they're going to have to animate stuff, and you know, eventually you're going to see all the different combinations and animations and everything like that. So the only way they can actually keep it infinite is to keep adding on content, which is, I hope they follow the business plan that Minecraft does, where they just, you buy the game and they'll just keep releasing content as long as they can. It would be really nice not to have to, you know, pay for the new planet DLC or the monsters pack or anything like that.
Right. I mean, that would definitely start to piecemeal and sort of erode at this sort of endless, almost, you know, borderless experience of an endless universe, which is definitely, they want the seamless experience through planet to space. So, again, the optimization of loading screens. But all we can do now is wait and see. I am super excited, and let's hope that Hello Games can bring out a winner and make this everything that we sort of hope it is and it's promised, including maybe some first-person battle with laser pistols.
Yeah, I think they're going to deliver, and they know how many people have seen the trailers at E3 and gotten just so excited, especially people that haven't seen it before. It's definitely one of the most talked about games at E3 this year, which is a big deal, especially for a 4-man development team, you know. So.
Definitely, and Sony is certainly hedging a lot of bets on this to sell consoles, so here's hoping. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining myself, Larry the Chupacabra, and the Dread Pirate Saverick for our coverage of E3 2014, and we will catch you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and toodaloo!
Bye, guys.